Appreciate it.
Nothing.
Can you hear? No, she's on. She apparently had no state income. I know that. Did you hear?
I just started.
outside early. I was like,
I don't have nothing for you. That's the only reason why you come running. Cause you thought I had something for you. Wrong today, Slick.
Can you hear us, Sean? If anyone hears something about watching that. Yeah, I hope so. Anyone on Zoom hears?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thanks, Jeff. Yeah.
That doesn't even look like Lisa and Becca, but that definitely looks like you and you look the same.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
United States of America. To the republic.
One.
I would say there's a fire.
Paul is gonna lead us in prayer.
Father God, we humbly come before you and just give you thanks for all the things you do for us and your grace and mercy, God, and for your forgiveness. I lift this prayer up to you, God, and we just
Father
thank
God,
you for
We humbly
loving
come
us.
before you and just give you thanks for all.
All right, so the first, our next item that we have is going to be the donation presentation in APCO from the APCO conference. Really, I was told by Chris there that the checks had gotten lost in the mail.
I've heard that before.
Something funny is going
And just so everybody knows, it was a record year and a record donation, that AESC was able to make to both boards. And that money will be put for use for the following and upcoming, KESC conference. That is going to be in September. It is 264 days away. So, go ahead and get your plans made and get ready for that conference. I'm sure it's gonna be wonderful. Next item we have on the agenda is going to be the president's report. Regina, I don't know.
Thank you, Lucas. All right.
Okay, so for the president's report, like I said, KDSC, our last conference, we had a record turnout. It was a wonderful conference. I think everybody had a good time. There were great class sessions, great networking opportunities. I just want to thank everybody for their participation, everybody's work and hard efforts that went into that conference. As wonderful as it is every year, and it continues to grow and get better every year. We hope that 2025 will be another record year for that. A few upcoming events that we have. The 911 Summit will be in March at Barren River, and I will let Paul May speak a little about that.
Thank you, Chairman. So I'm so excited about the summit coming up in March. It's going to be at Barren River, the 5th and 6th, if I'm not mistaken on the dates. The great thing is we're going to do some leadership classes. We're going to have wage and hour come. We're going to have the open records section. Someone come speak about open records. We're going to have a special guest speaker, Seth, and I pushed that out on the website. You can't miss his presentation. It's going to be phenomenal. It gives you a tangible aspect of a victim on what they've gone through and what we do as telecommunicators to save lives out there, make a difference. So the small things we do in life make a difference for these people. And he's going to explain to you that us just taking a call, dispatching someone that care to the scene changed his whole life. And guys, we affect lives every day. So that's going to be there. We're going to have some leadership classes. We're going to have some great games at night. So it's just going to be a great time and great information for you. And it's hopefully it won't cost you much. We have sponsors for most of the meals, so it won't cost you very much at all. And so it's going to be great times.
Thank you.
They're saying that they couldn't hear online.
That's nothing.
Thank you.
I can't plug into those mics. All I can do is this white thing. As close as I can get it to you because they're over here. Unless you guys want to move down to here, and then that way they can hear you better down here, but these two seats. That would be the only way I can do it.
Can they hear me when I get up there?
Yeah, I should be able to hear you.
Hey, Paul, can you all hear me?
Yes.
I know you'd asked if we could help recommend someone for the wage and hours and open records segments of the summit. And we really don't have anyone at a state level who would have the right experience for the particulars of your industry. And I'm hoping that someone on the call or at the meeting that maybe works for a larger agency might have an HR person or someone that can provide that really pinpointed counsel for open records requests that are specific to those that come into or to PSAPs, because the ones that we handle are just radically different than the ones that you all get.
So I have a person reached out to me, that's at an agency. I've reached out to them and they're trying to get approval. So I'm hoping I get maybe open records, maybe covered. And I don't know about wage and hour. Now, for them, they have a person that may volunteer to come. But so Mike's correct. If you know any people, have a reach out to me and I'll see who's available. The times that we have will be great.
Thank you for that. The next announcement I have, 911 goes to Frankfurt. Oh, just about let me back up for a second. The 911 Summit registration is online. We have almost 60 people registered already. So it is free, except for of course, your room, but we do have the meals covered by sponsors. So 911 goes to Frankfurt will be January the 8th. Sign up for that is also online. And that is all I have for the president's report at this time. Moving on, we'll go to the secretary's report from Chuck Bowen.
Keena's current membership stands at 424. That's been pretty consistent across the year. And just a reminder about memberships, to check your group memberships, make sure they're aligned to your current staffing, and make those changes soon. Of course, if you haven't already, memberships are due in the end of the year. And then minutes from last meeting were sent out over the weekend for your review, as well as the agenda for this meeting. Quick and easy, that's all I have at this time.
Motion approved.
Okay, so we have a motion by Chris Bowman and a second by Woosley to approve the minutes. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, approved. Moving on to the treasurer's report from Mr. Bowman.
If you want to talk loud. I don't know loud.
There's not a lot on here. The beginning balance, starting 9/1, that was the conference meeting, $8,162.70. We had a little bit of income, reimbursement from APCO from expenses at the talk conference, and a refund from the Bluegrass Hyatt, Bowling Green Hyatt place for $150.50. Total expenditures for the quarter, $2,294.69. The biggest chunk of that was from conference expenses. Those were scholarship rooms for the week, and then just some miscellaneous expenses at the conference. Ending balance, $6,118.51.
Is there any discussion about the treasurer's report?
Motion to approve the treasurer's report as submitted.
Motion by Woosley. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Chuck. All in favor? Opposed? Motion approved. We'll be moving on to the APCO business. Jimmy, are you online?
Don't see
I
him.
don't see him. Laramie, do you have anything for the APCO that was passed on for that part? No? Okay, we'll move right on into the secretary's report then, Laramie.
All right, secretary's report, current membership for APCO, 321 members. Minutes and agenda were sent out prior to the meeting, and as a reminder, all memberships expire 12/31/24. Madam President.
Any discussion about that? Motion to accept the secretary's report?
The motion.
Motion by Larry. Okay, second,
Second.
second by Russ. All those in favor? Okay. Approved. We'll move on to the treasurer's report for APCO from Mr. Clark.
Our balance September first was $6,737.20. We had income of $5,474.35. Most of that being from APCO dues. We had expenses of $2,309.90. Our ending balance is $9,901.65. And I have received our check from the conference, and it was $30,000. It went after the first of the month.
All right. Any discussion on?
One other thing.
Yes, sir.
Madam President. All the paperwork for the 501c3 has been filed with IRS. We're just waiting on a ruling from them for APCO, so hopefully we will get that tax exempt status here shortly.
That's been a thought.
They have been filed.
Is there any other discussion on the treasurer's report? No. Can I get a motion to approve that?
Make a motion.
Actually. Oh. No, need a second.
Second.
Who is it?
Larry will second.
Larry, okay. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Now we'll move on to the executive council report. Excuse me, sorry. Mr. Hurley.
No, nothing really new to give out for the holidays. There's not a lot going on. However, just a reminder of the conference coming up. We'll give you some more information on that from APCO for the national conference. I believe that will be in Baltimore, I believe.
Yes.
Is that right? And I'll give you some more details on that next week.
Thank you, sir. Misty, do you have the CCAM report? Okay.
Reason three.
Give me a second to get you set up here again. Which one? This one?
All right, guys, I got all kinds of stuff. So CCAM report, we have had.
It's the two different things you gotta do, a couple of things actually, so.
Okay, so we have had some more growth. As far as the chapter goes, we have had an additional member join. So we are still one member short for our commercial goals for the year, which was doubling again from the 2023 year. We had a member join from Rapid SOS. That brings us to 11 total members across 8 commercial partner agencies. The new member is. Next slide. It's a guy with Rapid.
That guy right there.
Hey, him. Look, here he is. We welcome you to the chapter, Rick. I looked you up on LinkedIn, stole your photo. Hope it's a good one. So that leaves us one more member. Yes, ma'am. We're going. Huh? We're going to do. I like that. So join us before the end of the year. I will.
Before the meeting.
And then we meet our goals. So then we can try to double again next year. So you see from our little graphic here, we started, those starting numbers are the dark numbers there at the bottom. We started last year with 3 members, commercial partners for the year. And we have grown exponentially over the last 2 years, and we hope to continue that growth. And you all go, great, let's grow. Our commercial partners are part of what funds the chapter. So I had a meeting with APCO National, and I'm going to give you all some information that I learned. I've been a member of APCO for several years now, and I was like, what does that do, really? As a commercial partner, we have the ability to join several states. I'm a member of 4. Our initial partnership with APCO, they get part of the dues, and your state chapter gets part of the dues. Well, as you add additional chapters, all of those dues go to that state. So when you all hear me talk about, hey guys, come join Kentucky, that's why, because that funding goes directly into our APCO chapter. And you all see what they do. We put on great conferences, educational opportunities. There's all kinds of things that we're able to fund for our frontline telecommunicators with those funds. So when I ask you guys to recruit your commercial partners, that's really why. All right, Laramie touched on it. You all will hear it over and over again. All of our memberships expire the end of the year. I told you all I'm real big on these little codes. There's a code up in that upper right-hand corner if any of the commercial partners want to scan and renew their membership. And again, the reminder, please add the Kentucky chapter. Next slide, sponsorship opportunities. Everybody's heard me talk about the challenge coins. We got the proofs back, guys. I'm excited. So the goal for me has been in the 2025 year to sponsor challenge coins for every APCO agency within the state. So this is completely free to my first responders. This is so you all have an awesome gift from Kentucky APCO to give to your telecommunicators. I know that every year I feel like people go, what can we do that's different? You know, you want to treat those people that go out and they do the thing, right? But funding has always been an issue. So I wanted to give an opportunity to the commercial partners to do something above and beyond that gives them the opportunity to get their advertising, you know, get the biggest bang for their buck. But more than that, gives the first responders, the people that are answering the phones, the opportunity to have something awesome that they can take away from your APCO membership. Having said that, I've worked with several different vendors, found a great deal. These are going to have Kentucky APCO on the front. I'm not going to give you all the details, but thank you, heroes, some good graphics. On the back side, it's going to have the sponsorship website, another cool graphic, a nice little sentiment. And I want to ship them into your agencies. So having said that, I'm going to have a meeting on January 13th for any of my corporate partners that are interested in being involved. I've made the sponsorship small enough that even my teeny tiny commercial partners can buy in if they're interested. Our great big commercial partners got sponsorship levels for them as well. The goal is to break those out across the state. So not everybody gets a Motorola or everybody gets an ADS in the same agency. I'll take care of that. That's one of the fun things I get to do as the CCAM. I have 2 more sponsorship opportunities. The Ford Polos, that was put out on Facebook. We're looking for somebody to sponsor the Kentucky APCO shirts for this committee year. The other sponsorship opportunity that just opened up is for 911 Goes to Frankfurt. We're looking for a corporate sponsor for breakfast and printing the materials for that. All right, Buford. I am sorry. Lunch didn't get here till 12:15. Next piece, I want to thank everybody.
Just,
Pardon? Nothing. Okay. Over the course of the year, we have had so many people that have poured into this chapter. We have had a ton of corporate sponsors for lunches, for our conference. We have had a ton of board members that have sponsored various events, given a lot of time. I'm excited to hear about our 401c. I know that's taken years to get done. Thank you, Russ. I just want to thank you guys. I know how much time this takes. I spend a lot of time thanking our first responders. Guys, seeing what these people do and have done over the last year, I just want to say thank you. And my final thank you for the day is going to go to our lunch sponsor, which is Justin Whipple. with Virtual Academy. He has been super patient with your CCAM for the last month. And he is going to provide us an amazing lunch today. Final slide is going to be my information. If you want to be involved in the January meeting for the challenge coins, or you have any questions about any additional sponsorships, please feel free to reach out. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Misty. Thank you for all your effort and work that you put into getting these sponsorships. The next item on our agenda, we have the joint committee reports. KESC Conference Committee. Garth is unable to attend today, but I do have a report from him that I'm going to pass along to everyone. This year, the Kentucky Emergency Service Conference Board is happy to announce that we have been able to return a record donation to the KENA, APCO, and KEMA. The 2024 conference was one for the books. The Kentucky Emergency Service Conference Board would like to thank everyone who volunteered during the conference, served on a committee, or supported the conference by attending or sponsoring. Planning.
On a Zoom meeting, sorry. I don't know if that mine got caught in yet. So, all right, thanks.
Planning for and executing a conference of this size is no easy task, and it takes the hands of many. We are blessed with the great team of 911 and emergency management professionals. That is from Garth. The next report, or the next item for the agenda, was a report from the Hospitality Committee by Jeannie Glenn. She is also unable to attend, but I do have a report from her. She wanted me to let you guys know that we'll be meeting after the first of the year for the Hospitality Committee. Whoever's interested in being on the committee can make contact with her or any of the board members and let them know, and we can get you on the email list. That is all I have for Miss Jeannie Gwynn. So now I have Mr. Hurley for the vendor committee.
It was a good year for vendors for the conference. We sold out and had about 19 different vendors still waiting to get spots, which is the best we've ever had. So we're excited about what this coming year holds for 2025 when it comes to our vendors, and we asked for some ideas from them and got some good response back from some of them on how we can improve things for them next year. But so far, I mean, when you have 19 vendors in hold waiting for a spot, that means we're doing something right. So we appreciate the vendors, because we could not do a great show without our vendors and industry partners working with us. So that without them, it doesn't happen. So we really appreciate them. So kudos to you guys. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. Jimmy's still not. Do you see him on there anywhere? I don't.
I do not.
Okay. We'll move on to the awards committee. Larry, if you would like.
All right, the awards committee, we will begin accepting nominations for awards starting the first of the year. Those can be submitted online. It'll be for telecommunicator of the year, supervisor of the year, PSAP of the year, director or deputy director of the year, and the 911 Hero Award. Anybody that is interested in serving on that committee, feel free to reach out and we'll be glad to use you.
Thank you, Laramie. Jody was unable to be here today. She had a family emergency come up. So Laramie, would you like to speak a little bit about the membership outreach committee?
Jody last night, she is in the middle of an emergency, so keep her in your thoughts. Anybody that has anything that comes up throughout the region that feels like they need to reach out and have a card or something like that sent, feel free to reach out to Jody. They are still actively sending out cards and things of that nature for any events that come up within the PSAP. So,
thank you, sir. The next we have State Legislative Committee. Beaufort, do you have anything?
I do, and it's going to take a few minutes, so bear with me. I got a call from an agency a couple of weeks ago, actually about a month ago or so, regarding some of the new language, and therefore telecommunicators academy and part-time and so on. There's been some miscommunications or misinterpretation, should I say, at some other agencies that's reading of the law wrong as we see it, and as also this has no reflection on Mr. Boss or Mr. Ratliff. They're new. They came in at the end of this. Some agreements were made with the people that they prior to those gentlemen taking the positions that we had agreed to keep out of KRS because it makes it sloppy for them and ties their hands too hard And now they have reneged on that, not those two gentlemen, but the DLCJT has reneged on those agreements that we have made with our part-time on this KRS that we just passed this year. With that being said, the attorney there at the KLAC has said that she feels like that the part-timer should have to go to the full academy now. And that's not what the law says at all. Section 3 of the law, I'm going to read it verbatim. Says part-time telecommunicators hired prior to July 1st of 2026 shall successfully complete the 40-hour online course telecommunicator overview training. All part-time telecommunicators hired after July 1st of 2026 shall successfully complete the Public Safety Telecommunicator Academy. That's strictly in KRS under Section 3. It's already law. I don't know where she's getting what she's getting. This is not a bashing her. It's just I don't know where to miss. And I've got no communications from her at all. No one's reached out for me from her at all to talk about where she's getting her miscommunications or her misinterpretation. With that said, the committee that was in KRS was put together that had Kena, APCO, and the DLCJT representative on it to create a new academy for us was to create 2 different academies. And that was the agreement we had off record. That will be the one that they would make the new academy, which would have some time virtual. Well, whatever that time would be, that group come up with was fine with me, because all my people go to the academy, so this doesn't affect me at all, even my part-timers. So my part-time, but on this, they're thinking at July 1, 2026, that all part-timers have to go to the academy in person, and that's not what we agreed on. We agreed on that the majority of the part-time academy would be online. In fact, almost all of it will be online, with the exception of maybe 3 days. They would go down and do the hands-on and do the testing components there at the DLCJT on those last 3 or 4 days. Part-time people work other jobs, so they can't go down and spend 4 weeks or 5 weeks, whatever this changes to in the future, at the academy and hold a full-time job. They cannot do that. That's why we have part-timers to help offset our folks. So the agreement was that they would also create a part-time academy that would allow part-timers to have a 90-day or window, what it will be, to complete the academy. It's a little bit longer because it is part-time, so they have time to do it. And it would be all online with the exception of 3 days or so. All right, so with that said, I have put some legislation together. If Paul, if you would pass that out to everybody in here for me, please. And this is my suggestion. If we have to go back and create another bill, which I've already got sponsors and everything for, so I'm not worried about that. To change the language to tie their hands to exactly what we want, we can do that, and I'm ready to do that now. All I need to do is have approval bill and move forward today. And I'll get the sponsor, and we'll be ready to drop the bill as soon as we're allowed to drop the bill. I have also mentioned that we would meet with them and see if we can come to some compromise, and I've had 0 response back from any of them besides Mr. Ratliff. Now, Mr. Balls, I will say, I have not spoken with him or had an email conversation with him at all, so I don't want him to think this involves him at all just yet. This was between Leanne, the DLCJT, and then Mr. Ratliff. Mr. Ratliff has sent up, because we have an issue with, we think, the attorney at the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council. He has sent that over to Justice to review that and have a ruling on before we send it to the Attorney General's office to get a ruling on. We're okay with that. The problem is we're running too close time for the session to start. We can't wait much longer. I could probably give it another week and that's it. And then I gotta drop this bill. I'm ready to drop the bill because I can't wait anymore. All right, because it's a short session. So understand where I'm at on trying to get this done. So I don't care to meet with them if they want to meet immediately in the next couple of days, the first next week, and we can try to figure out something before we bring this to the session. And here's what I've got, and it ties their hands. Section 3, it adds in there, has successfully completed part-time public safety telecommunicator academy. That makes them create a public safety part-time telecommunicator academy. Number 4, added 2, these are all new. The Public Safety Telecommunicating Work Group established in House Bill 782, 2024 shall develop a part-time public safety telecommunicator academy to incorporate in-person and online training components to be completed and submitted to the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council by July 1st, 2025, with the academy starting date of July 1st, 2026. Section 5. The part-time public safety telecommunicator academy shall consist of 136 hours online and 24 hours in person at the Kentucky Law Enforcement Council approved academy, one of any of those approved academies, for hands-on skills testing and final test components. From the academy start date, part-time telecommunicators shall receive 90 days to complete part-time academy. Section 6. All part-time telecommunicators hired after July first of 2026 shall complete the 160-hour part-time public safety telecommunicator academy. Part-time telecommunicators hired before July first, 2026 have successfully completed the 40-hour online course. Telecommunicator overdue training will not have to complete the 160-hour part-time public safety telecommunicator academy. However, part-time telecommunicators hired prior to July first, 2026 and advanced to full-time telecommunicator prior to July first of 2026 shall complete the full public safety telecommunicator academy. That is my suggestions on the language changes, and that will be the bill that I would ask that you allow me to. So I need a motion to allow me to drop this bill with a sponsor if we can't come to an agreement with those other agencies, DOCJT, Protect the Law Enforcement.
Anybody want to make that motion?
I do. I do, because if it was good enough during COVID to have 4 weeks of complete online, I do not know why they cannot have 3 weeks of online.
You have a motion made.
Okay. So Larry Frazier has made the motion. Restate that for me, just for record, what the motion is, Larry.
Motion is to approve the bill as Buford explained it.
Do I have a second for that?
I'll say,
Okay. Is there any discussion?
that way we can have a discussion.
I think we have to be careful about making the motion. I think somebody knows more about the rules, but we have to leave room to know that there's going to be some negotiations and change in the language. So I think the motion should be more like what we're trying to accomplish, and not that, I think he said as written or as presented, because we know that there's gonna be some stuff.
I agree.
If Commissioner Boston said.
I agree. I
There's
agree
no
with
way
you.
that I'm gonna be able to get a part-time telecommunicator academy by July 1 of 2025, then.
26.
I agree with you. If it needs to be restated, I
We
will
need
restate
to have
it.
some leeway in the motion, but I support it 100%.
Okay, well, he just restated it, so.
Larry, do you want to restate your motion?
Yeah, I will make my motion for Buford to do this after he has discussed it with KLEC to see if we've got some room for negotiation.
Yeah, but he's the one that made it.
You can't, yeah, but you can't modify.
If he's the one that made it, he can modify.
Yeah, he can modify his motion as long as the second will agree to modify as well.
I'll agree to modify as well.
That's the deal.
Okay, so Larry has modified his motion. You have seconded his modification. Okay. Is there any further discussion?
Can you hear the motion again?
Correct. Sure. Larry, can you restate the motion as modified?
My motion is to support Buford's bill as he's proposed it after he's had discussion with KLEC to see if there's any room for negotiations.
Is there any further discussion?
Tell him that, tell him. Larry, you need to, let's restate that to include, language changes.
Larry, did you? Okay.
Yeah, and add language change in current bill.
And I'll second that, Jay.
Okay. So we now have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion?
The wording is what?
A motion to allow me to proceed with this bill as written with negotiation, KLEC, DLCJT, to see if there's language changes that need to be changed here in this bill. Or so not through the bill if we all agree on the same thing that we need to get through. So I mean, that's really what it needs to say. You okay with that, Larry?
I'm okay with that.
And I'll say,
Paul, did you have something?
Yeah, I think the language needs to say that Keenan APCO is going to give you permission to negotiate with DOCJT or KLEC. If not, then we'll proceed with a bill.
well, I thought that's what we said, but I'm okay with that as well.
Let's just kill this motion.
Okay, we can do that. We can absolutely do that.
So he'll either have to rescind or we'll have to vote on it.
Okay. So Larry,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, do you want to rescind the motion that you made?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Paul is going to make a motion.
I make a motion that we allow the chairman of the legislative committee to utilize a proposed written document to change the KRS, to use that to, as approval of Kena APCO body, to work with DOCJT legislators, KLEC, to come up with a agreed upon bill for the solution that we're dealing with the academy.
Caveat, we need to put in there that if we have no agreement, we deal with the bill we have.
If there's no agreement, then it needs to come back to,
Can't do that. We don't have enough time to come back.
we can have an emergency meeting.
Well, we can do that if you want to do that, but I mean, that would be very quick, be next week.
What do you say? I mean, what's the body say?
Your motion is to allow him to negotiate with DOCJT and KLEC.
Correct. That's what this motion
To
does.
create a part-time academy.
Correct. That's what I said. And then if you can't come, then but we gotta have some fallback for you.
Yeah. We can do an emergency meeting.
Then Buford will reach out to the chairman and we can do an emergency meeting to make any further action.
That's the motion. Is there a second for that motion?
I'll second that motion. Thank you, Paul.
Second from Larry. Is there any further discussion?
So, sorry, I don't want
You're
to
fine.
drag this out, but it's important. I don't understand why we're making motions to negotiate. Why don't we just move forward with the bill with the language we want and have our partners help us write the bill? Because the language is currently written, it's not good, it's subject to interpretation. I think.
Really, it's not. I don't know where she's getting that at. I mean, it's very clear. We're waiting for a ruling from the Justice Department on that. But
I mean, it's more or less just clean up the language in our favor.
if we would go with the agreements, we wouldn't even be here.
But if you don't get there, if you don't negotiate, if you don't work with them, then we'll never get it out. They'll kill it in committee. You don't think?
No.
You don't think so?
We're gonna have the back end of KLC and KCO and then I don't want to get the police chief associations, fire chiefs. I'm gonna get all those to back us on this deal change with us. They know it's gonna affect them in the long run.
Then if you want to change or not, we'll change the verbiage to what you want and then we'll go from there.
As long as we get what we want, yeah, that's all.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So my motion stands and then I need a second.
You have a second by Larry.
Do the discussion and a modify. They can kill this or we can pass it and do another. But we have what the body wants to do.
Is there any further discussion on the motion that's on the floor right now? Yes.
I'm looking at 15,530 now. Are you looking at adding or replacing 15,530?
15.5, this is adding section 4, 5, and 6 to it, and also a change in section 3 to where it adds in part-time public safety authority. And this could be, there could be more added to this depending on where we're at, you know, as we go along. Once the LRC goes through this and changes the language the way they actually want the verbiage to be for them.
Do the online folks have a copy of this? Can they see this?
No, I can't put it on. Okay. But I just read it to.
Or do we want to have a vote?
You have to have.
Any further discussion? Okay, none? Okay, so we are going to have a vote. So all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none, motion approved.
Thank you. I'll proceed and we'll see what we can get done for you, and then we'll come back to this as quick as possible. You know, the only other thing we're working on was the incentive, and that is something we're still working on, so I don't have anything to bring up on it just yet.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is going to be the Federal Legislative Committee. Mr. Paul Knight.
On the federal level, there's a couple of things I could have to see. So there's HR 3565 would allocate $15 billion in the federal communication FCC spectrum action auction revenues to do NG 911. It passed the House in May of 2023. Now it's on the Senate side. And so for your Senate, is Ted Cruz and Cantwell from Washington are the sponsors, are the lead of that. So it's in committee, and so we're not doing anything now until the new Senate comes in January. 911 Saves Act, it passed the House in summer, and it's now gone to the Senate side, which is Senate Bill 3556. It has a lot of support. It's in the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, and so we'll be working with that when 911 goes to Washington. And there's no Kentucky representative on here for us to reach out to get it out of committee, but there's people in Tennessee, New Mexico, North Carolina, and Maryland that can help get it out of committee with these representatives, with these senators. So once we get that information, we'll get it out of committee, get it on the floor, hopefully get it voted on. So that's where we send on the two big bills on the federal.
Thank you, Paul. Next on the agenda, we have a report for Kentucky Turk from Mr. Russ Clark.
Kentucky Turk now has 59 members on our roster. We had our first EMAC deployment out of state to Duncombe County, North Carolina. April was part of that. Got to spend 2 weeks in North Carolina, and we sent an additional 2 members down when the first team of 4 came home, and they spent another 10 days down there. All paperwork for reimbursement has been submitted to KYM. Just waiting on them to process it and get us our money back, and then it will be distributed to the agencies. KYM will be doing credentialing of responders starting this year, and Turk members will be part of that. So we'll have a mission ready package in place when the request comes in on future deployments, which will help speed up the process quite a bit.
Awesome, thank you. Next on the agenda is old business. Is there any old business anybody needs to discuss? Okay. Next item on the agenda is new business. Reports from our association representatives. 911 Services Board, Paul, do you have anything? All right.
So I'll do the two together for the GIS and 911 that I'm on there. So we're working on the RFP for the state network, EZNet. The bids have come in. There's a committee now reviewing every single of those bids, and got just a lot of work. Some of those bids are extensive in wording. We're talking 1,000 pages. I mean, it's very difficult. But they're going through each one of those, and they'll be doing their work on that and getting you all information on that as they can, as it gets out of the review process. The GIS update, I'm excited, guys. You know, this has been a passion for me to get this mapping, right? We are down to 4 counties in the state. Of the 4 counties, we're 99.9%, 99 point something error free with those counties, right? So by December 31st, my goal is to have 2 of those finished. We'll only have 2 left for the whole state, and then we'll be 100% with mapping. That's going to be phenomenal. So once the NG911 EZNet comes into play, we'll just be able to plug this in and roll. We're going to be way ahead of any other state of implementing NG911 for call routing, for geospatial routing within the Commonwealth, right? So guys, you just don't understand how it's going to save lives. I mean, It's gonna make a difference of calls being transferred and if someone is dying in the water and it goes to the wrong piece that puts hit the wrong tower, it's gonna save that. Yeah, it's gonna make a difference in people's lives, and that's what it's about. And so we're there. I'm gonna go to this one county that we're struggling with. I'll personally go there and working with them. And then we're gonna get over this hurdle, guys. We're 99 point some for the whole state. So it's a huge accomplishment with everybody here that's doing it. And again, small things in this world make a difference, and this is gonna be a big thing that we're making a difference in people's lives. That's all I have.
Thank you, Paul. Next, we have the 911 Advisory Council, Russ or Larry, either.
Let's do everything. I'm new to the game, so.
No.
No, all right, thank you. Agency partners, first we have Services Board, Mike Sinceri. I don't know if he's on here or not. He was, all right, Mike.
He is. Thank you, everyone. And thanks, Paul, for that update on our GIS progress. Yeah, overall, we're doing great. Appreciate the cooperation from the community. Main thing that the board has been working on since we last met was the RFP for our full statewide next-gen deployment, EZNet and core services. We are deep into that process because it is open procurement. It's kind of like Fight Club. And what's the first rule of Fight Club? Don't talk about Fight Club, unfortunately. So with, all I can say is that it's going well. We're deep into it. We hope to have it wrapped up in the very near future. And then we will, once we can, we will announce the winning vendor. Once that contract has been signed, which we're not there yet, we will let everyone know and proceed with that in post haste. And thanks to all of the wonderful work that you all have done to get your mapping data in order and next gen ready, that should make that transition much more efficient and quick to go from the legacy system over to the next gen system. Other than that, we have had great success with participation from you all with our education initiatives. It started off, we were having 30 to 40 people log in for our virtual training sessions, and we're up now to more like 60 to 80. So we will continue to hold those once or twice a month going into the new year, and are always looking for topics. So if there's a topic out there that you say, hey, I wonder how this works or why this works this way, or we'd like to learn a little bit more about that, feel free to propose that to anyone on the board staff, myself or Mark especially. Mark is the one who heads up that effort, and we will get that on the books. I do want to take a moment to introduce Andrea Mussman. She is our new financial manager for the 911 Services Board and is with us on the call today. So please take a second and say hello to everyone, Andrea.
Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be with you.
Thank you. Andrea's doing great work for us as she learns about the intricacies of all the projects that we're working on and all the wonderful public safety initiatives going on in our agency. So beyond that, I would be open for any questions anyone might have. Otherwise, I don't want to hold you up from lunch.
Anybody have any questions? Thank you, Mike, for that report. Next on the agenda, we have Mr. Michael Boss with DOCJT. I believe he's with us.
Yeah, thank you. I apologize. We had our annual awards ceremony this morning, and so I was late getting back to you all, but it's hard to replace the commissioner when you got to give out those awards. So I appreciate Larry's patience and his willingness to meet with us on some of the issues that he was talking about. A lot of this is new to me, and as far as I can tell, the best thing about this KRS as it's written is that it gives us more time to discuss. I would encourage a meeting between your all's people and our Office of Legal Services, because we're bound by what our attorneys tell us is the interpretation of the KRS. And so if you all or somebody in your organization has a different perspective, I think it's extremely important that our Office of Legal Services and that group get together and talk this out. Our job is to give you the service that you want, and we're absolutely willing to do that. I'm not sure if I misunderstood, but it sounded like there is the KRS in the way that it's written, but then there was maybe perhaps a separate agreement between parties, and I'm not familiar with that, so I will have to catch up with what exactly that means. But I look forward to future meetings. I appreciate your all's patience and voting the way you did so that we can sit down and talk. The things that we're doing right now is the working group as it exists right now is ahead of the schedule for the way that we're told the KRS is written. So we're actually ahead of that schedule, and our instructional design people will be starting at the end of December on the online portions of the part-time academies. So again, the beauty of the way that we're interpreting the law right now is it gives us time to build those. One of the problems with the mandate that was given to us by the legislature that required 30% of our general curricula to be mandated online is that we're spending a great deal of time building online courses, and we're really finding that that's not what the officers are necessarily wanting. So I think that discussion's important. We have a new staff attorney, and I am told that they will guarantee by the time the first or the next Tele Academy starts that we will have the non-residency agreement in place. That will allow the directors to decide whether they want their particular student to be on campus or travel back and forth. That's completely up to the director to make that decision. So, and I'm told that'll be in place 2 weeks before the class date, so that the teams meeting that occurs before that, you can discuss that with the coordinators and they can get all that worked out. So, but that's at this time, that's all I have, unless somebody has questions.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Boss?
I just want to thank him for working with Buford. Thank you for taking time and being open to work with us on this legislation and understanding the plight we have with our part-time staff. Because I lost one part-time employee because of the stress. She was going to have to go to this academy, so she just quit. Was one of the determining factors, and I can't lose any more employees.
Yeah, we get that. I mean, I really do understand that the way it's written, and so we want to make it work for you all. So, absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Boss.
Thanks, y'all.
Next on the agenda, we have KSP training. Jason Long was unable to attend. He's actually teaching this week, I believe. 988, we have Mr. Justin Graves. I believe he is on the meeting online.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, April, for inviting me out to another quarterly meeting. I do have a few updates from the 988 side. I won't take up too much of y'all's time, but if you don't know me, I am Justin Graves. I'm the 988 911 coordinator for the state. Since our last meeting, our 14th 988 center has come online. So we now have 988 calls being answered locally at every CMHC, that's Community Mental Health Center, at every region in the state. We also have implemented a statewide backup. I think at the last quarterly meeting, we only had one center in the state providing backup coverage, but now the entire state has backup coverage. So we're in good shape there as well. Also, our network throughout the state has hit the metrics that they needed to hit in the past month, so everything is going great on that end. They are developing a training protocols for our 988 call takers and supervisory staff that will be implemented next year. They're planning on doing monthly trainings as well as the monthly virtual trainings, as well as 3 in-person summit trainings throughout the year. The goal eventually for that is to have some sort of certification, much like 911 has for call takers as well. Lots of marketing initiatives are going on at the state and federal level. So I'm sure you all will be seeing that come into play soon. You'll be seeing 988 pretty much everywhere before long. So that's great. But as far as my side of the 988 world, we started our 911 regional summits
our 988 regional summits for 911 and emergency services, yesterday. The first one, it was successful. Glad to see Russ there. If you all, I've not sent out invites to all the regional summits yet, but if any of you would like to attend those, please let me know. I'll put my email in the chat, but if you can't see the chat, my email is justin.graves@ky.gov. Other than that, we are developing some 988 branded comfort kits. Basically, what these are going to be utilized for is to be handed out to emergency services departments in case they encounter anyone in crisis. They'll be relatively small and just contain some things that could de-escalate those, especially those with serious mental illness. But they will be designed for pretty much anyone in crisis. Those will be distributed by April. We are having continued support from our PSAPs since the last meeting. We have had 5 new MOUs signed between our PSAPs and our 988 centers. So that brings us up to 16 total. And really appreciate the support from all of you. And if you need anything or have any questions, you can shoot me an email. Once again, that's justin.graves@ky.gov. But I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Justin. Next on the agenda was Kentucky PCIS. Sarah is also in class this week. She was unable to attend. With that being said, the next item on the agenda is going to be scheduling of the quarterly meetings for the upcoming 2025 year. Do we have anyone that would like to volunteer to host a quarterly meeting?
About the March meeting.
Right. So Barry Metcalf is willing to host on March the 3rd or 4th, the day before the summit, basically. Okay. Yeah. So March the 4th, we're willing to host at Barry Metcalf. That way, everybody will be already be coming in town for the summit, and they would just all in conjunction with each other. So we need a spot for June and December. I know typically we have June in E-Town, but I haven't heard from anybody. So I'm open to anything.
I can use, you can do Owensboro in December if you want.
Okay.
Make sure we have it open.
Okay. All right.
If that's regional, I mean, maybe too far west, I don't know.
And you said TSB in E-Town?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, all right. So, Barron County for March. KSP for June in E-Town, and then Owensboro for December. Any other discussion or ideas or?
Thanks.
You have a date. We don't have a date yet, but we'll push that out. Okay.
We can work to get those together and
Yes.
then you can push them out.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Is there any other topics or anything? No, we're good. I need a motion. Oh, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Business. We didn't have it in, because we don't have a budget that's been voted on. I know that Paul plans on going to Washington, and I'm not sure what other delegation is going, but I'd like to make a motion to share those expenses with APCO, whatever that cost might be to send a delegation to Frankfurt, to Washington for 911 goes to Washington.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion on the floor for Keena to share the cost with APCO, for Mr. Paul Nave to represent Kentucky in Washington, correct? Delegation. Paul and Buford. Okay. So we have a motion on the floor and a second from Laramie. Any discussion? Everybody in favor? Yes? Aye?
Aye.
Thank you.
And
All opposed? No? It passed. Okay. Go ahead.
I would like to make the motion for Kentucky APCO to share those expenses for the delegations for Paul and for to attend 911 goes to Washington.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor and a second. Second by Misty. Everybody in favor for APCO to do the same motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion passes.
It was first, sorry.
Oh, he made the motion and then, actually, Misty, sorry, I'll get that right in a second. Misty the next. Okay. Any other discussion or new business? Hearing none, can we have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Paul?
Hang on a second.
Well,
Misty, this is our lunch sponsor.
Oh, you've got
Adjourn until he does his.
speech.
Yeah.
I thought that was during lunch, sorry.
We're
It is.
schedules.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So, sir, would you like to rescind it? I'll rescind his motion.
Is he got a presentation or is he just gonna talk?
No, I believe.
I just, you know, we gotta know.
Did you just do that? The best way to get it to you.
Put it on your drive. Right.
That's right.
Oh, I need to do that.
You start. If you want to start talking, and then I'll.
That'll work.
Just come up here by this. Kind of standing there right there with that light.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. As you saw Misty's slide earlier, my name is Justin Whipple. I'm one of the vendor partners that we have for Kentucky APCO and Nina here. I am a regional manager with Virtual Academy. I've been here for about 2 years now, and I've been working very hard in the state of Kentucky to try to get some KLEC approved courses and stuff going for you guys, because as a former director myself, I understand how hard it is to get training to you, right? Or to send someone to training. It costs money. You just don't have those expenses. And as I know, especially in Western Kentucky, where some of the rural areas are, it's hard to send people places, right? It's easier if we come to you. So what we've done is we've got 25 hours currently of approved content. And I'm saying the word currently very emphatically, because we are monthly submitting another 5 to 10 courses to a program called IDLIST NCP. IDLIST is a national certification program that in August, the KLEC approved to accept. So anything that's IDLIST approved, they will accept it. So we're submitting about 10 hours a month to get those approved through IDLIST. So once they get approved, they automatically become KLEC approved courses for you guys. I have in my presentation kind of everything that we do. And so I know y'all are smelling the lunch already, so I'll just kind of go through this. We don't have to worry about it, Misty. So the good thing about our platform is we're an online self-paced training platform. So your people can take it at the console. They can do it on their phones. They can do it at home. They can do it wherever they want to do it, right? On top of that, we have other things that you can take advantage of in the platform itself, because we are a training management system. So you have the ability to track all of this training, obviously. You can see everything that your people are doing. You can run reports on it, see how many hours they've actually taken. You can track all certifications that your people receive. So if they have like a certification EMD and you want to track that, you can put that in there and say, hey, here's the certification. And then you can also apply continuing education hours to it to see, are they getting everything they need to renew when the time comes? We have course creation wizards, which I heard DOC JT's gentleman talking earlier, and I was thinking the whole time we could help you out with course creation. You can create your own courses in our platform. You can create your own roll calls in our platform. You can take advantage of the 170 plus roll calls we already have in the platform. Everything that we have in the platform comes with your subscription, and it's only $69 per user per year. So it's very inexpensive. And, you know, I joked, actually, I see a few people that just recently signed on the screen up here. I joke with them when I talk to them, I'm like, Sandra waving at me. There's actually a couple of agencies. I think one of them signed on, they had 10 users. So you're talking $690 a year, right? It's going to cost you more than that to send one person for the travel, the food cost, the hotel, everything you got to do. And you just took care of your entire agency for the same price, right? So that's just kind of what we do. Now we do have some add-on features. We have a CTO program, which allows you to track daily observation reports, task list forms, all kinds of things that you would do for your trainees as you submit them through their training program, which I know is big for your new hires and such, especially with you know, talking about the part-time stuff that y'all are going through with right now. You can see what all they're doing. And then we also have a policy management platform that allows you to upload policies, assign them out to staff members. You can check their knowledge of the policies and get acknowledgement statements on those as well. Again, the big thing about this is it's all in one. And, you know, I kind of joke on Rick all the time about they're doing everything, but we kind of do everything all in one package, right? It's one login to do all of these different functions. You don't have to go to your Power DMS and then jump over to your AC 360 for CTO and then jump over to here, do the training. It's all in one, all encompassing. Okay. She's finally got it ready. So now that I've already told you everything that I'm going to show you in the slides, but that's my fault. I probably should have had it on a drive already. Yeah. So we'll just kind of breeze through it real quick. Since I've already kind of given you the quick overview, just so you can kind of see what that platform actually looks like. I've just taken a few screenshots. And if you want, you can just go on straight to slide 3 there and start. No, I get it. I'm in Zoom every day. I get it. Yeah, you can go to the third one there. So this is the highlights of everything that I just kind of talked about with the 100+ hours of training that we currently have for telecommunicators. And you can see the different categories of training that we have for them. In Kentucky, we actually built an 8-hour leadership course. So there is that inside of that 25 hours that you see there of the KLEC approved content. But you get access to everything. So all 400 hours that we currently have is included with the 25 hours that you already get. As it gets IDLIS approved, we will be transitioning it underneath that KLEC approved tab. So, Russ, we just signed you on, right? There's a section KLEC approved right inside of the platform. So you already know what courses are approved for you in Virtual Academy. Again, it's all self-paced. We have anti-cheating features built in, so your users can't skip through videos. They have to watch everything. They can't just say, hey, I'm going to watch about an hour of this and then move on. Can't do that. Everything has assessments, certificates. The QR code that I've got in there, that links straight out to our course listing. So if you want to see what those courses look like, feel free to, scan that QR code there. You mind going to the next slide? So just a few screenshots here. So this is the homepage for the platform. There's a communications tool that I didn't mention there in the middle. It's an announcement board where you can send information out to all of your people that are currently utilizing Virtual Academy. You've got to-do lists on the right-hand side so they can keep track of everything they need to take care of. And then an easy navigation on the left-hand side to get between all the different things that they got to do. Next slide, please. Just you can click through a couple times. Keep going. Everyone will have a profile. So if you want to keep track of information, as far as like ranks and things like that, they can kind of do that on their own. If they want to opt into cell phone notifications and email notifications, they can do that as well. It's fine. This was the certification management tool that I was talking about here. So you can see that I've got a few certifications listed here. You can set your expiration dates, your renewal dates. You can set alerts up for yourself to be alerted prior to the expiration. And then down at the bottom, you can see there's a continuing education tab there where you can track all of the hours that your people are taking that apply towards that certification. So you can see just at a glance, do they have everything they need to renew when the time comes? Or here's just a quick screenshot of the CTO and DOR tracker. You can go to the next page. So just an overview, it gives you a task list, the forms, the DORs. You can kind of see how all that's laid out. You get digital signatures from your trainers, your trainees, everybody. So you're not having to keep up with those old paper forms. This is a 100% customizable platform. So you put in your task list, your forms, your DORs, everything that is specific for you and your agency would go into this platform. Again, big thing is it gets you away from the paper and pencil that you're doing now or the Excel spreadsheets that you might be doing it in, and it gets it into a digital format where you can all do it online, again, with the tablet device, whatever. Because I do know there's agencies out there, they like to sit there with an iPad next to the trainee filling stuff out. You can do it that way. So, next slide, please. And then here's the policy management that I mentioned. You can just see a couple of different buckets here. Needed action are all policies you need signed off on. Your agency policies down at the bottom are all of those policies that you currently have active, and your people can actually go back in and review these policies at any time. So they're always there active for them to take advantage of and review when the time comes. So go to the one more. And then the last thing we always like to harp on is don't hold it against us. We are Tennessee based. So we have our help desk, which is in Martin, Tennessee, in Northwest Tennessee. You can submit a ticket. You can call this 855 number you see on the screen there, or you can live chat with someone 24/7, 365. So again, you know, everybody's heard this joke that's done a demo with me. I always used to tell my people, if you have a virtual academy problem at 2 o'clock in the morning, don't call me, call the help desk, because I'm not going to take care of it. Y'all call me with enough crap, right? So, but it is an amazing support team. They respond to everything within 2 minutes, and they have a 90% resolution rate in 2 minutes or less for everything that comes in to the support desk. Okay, so we're going to take care of you. Next slide here. I think that covers everything that I've got. I don't want to stand between lunch. Yeah. So here's my contact info. If you are interested in kind of seeing what we have to offer, you know, feel free to reach out to me. I would love to give you a demo and just kind of go through everything that we have. I do have plenty of cards back here if anybody wants to grab one real quick, and, you know, we can set something up. Otherwise, I really hope you guys enjoy the lunch. Misty worked real hard on getting all of it set up. She's talking about being patient, and I don't know why she keeps doing that. She's got enough crap going on. I know how it is. But she found this meal. All I did was pay for it. So we're just happy that y'all can take advantage of it. And we're, you know, Missy's thanked you enough, but I can't thank you enough for what you do. As a former director, I understand what you go through, and I just cannot thank you enough for everything that you guys do. And I'm honored to just be here in your presence in the first place. All right. So thank you guys. Thank you for the time today. If you have any questions, feel free to see me after. I'll hang out for a little while. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year too. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you for sponsoring lunch. I know it's important. Also want to thank Tim for setting up this meeting space for us. Thank you very much for that. All right. So now at this time, can I get a motion to adjourn? Paul makes a motion. Second by Ashley. Everybody in favor? Yes. Thank you, guys.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Oh, my stomach is going to over.